SEC play gets underway on Saturday live in Tuscaloosa as the Cats travel to take on Alabama. And now for a look at the Tide. This is Opposition Research brought to you by HKC Roofing. There's no greater illustration describing the strength of the SEC than to consider the pundits pinned Alabama as 7th in the preseason poll. While explosive playmaker Colin Sexton was chosen 8th overall in June's draft and part-time starter Braxton Key left for Virginia, the Tide rest on a sturdy foundation and boast balance sprinkled with a mix of high-end talent. That formula should lead to growth throughout the season, with a follow-up appearance in the NCAA tournament a reasonable prediction. Bama sits at 9-3 entering their league opener, with a 6-point besting of two-loss Murray the marquee achievement. The missteps include head-scratchers to plus 100 ranked Northeastern and Georgia State, as well as a competitive road loss opposite sound UCF. Alabama tuned up for the Cats with a 10-point dispatch of Stephen F. Austin on Sunday. The Tide dominated on the glass and showed 4 double-figure scores, highlighted by Kyra Lewis Jr. 17. Dante Hall tallied 12 and 14 for his 10th career double-double. The gentle-spoken but fiery Avery Johnson is inside year 4 as head coach and has led the Tide to 3 straight postseasons. Undrafted out of Southern U, Johnson latched on with the then Seattle Supersonics in 1989, the first of 16 seasons in the league, which featured over 8,000 career points, 5,800 plus assists, and a world championship. After hanging up the Sneaks in 2004, Johnson joined the Mavs as an assistant and in 2005 began a 7-year NBA coaching trek with Dallas and the New Jersey/Brooklyn Nets. Johnson is as accomplished as any in hoop circles and is the father of Bama guard Avery Johnson Jr. Fewer SEC freshmen have filled bigger shoes than Lewis Jr. The 6'3 guard reclassed, absorbing much of Sexton's production from last season. In addition to exemplary three-point and free throw shooting, his 15 points and 3 assists per are Tide topping. The second youngest player in Division I, Lewis Jr. reveals a career high of 24 with 4 20-plus point outings on the campaign. John Petty salivates with every swish and supplements 11 points a night from the perimeter. The 6'5 sophomore set a program rookie record with 90 made threes last season, yet is just a 37% three-point shooter in his year plus. The Huntsville native torched Bama A&M for 30 last November, but only chose a high of 17 this year. Dante Hall is quite the load and powers in 11 points beside a team-high 8 boards. A starter 63 times, the 6'9 senior owned school milestones for field goal percentage and dunks in a junior season that featured recognition as one of the league's top defensive players. This year, Hall has sharpened the saw, improving his free throw rate by some 20 points, up to 77%. He also continues to be the Tide's primary rim protector with 2 blocks a tilt. A part-time starter last winter, Herbert Jones has ingrained himself as a regular and ponies up 7-5. The 6'7 sophomore drew a school record 23 charges as a freshman, but is a liability late in games, a la only 46% from the foul line. Texas export Tevin Mack supports his new team with a 9-point average, a 6-point decrease from his days in Austin. The 6'6 junior put 20 on the board opposite Ball State in mid-November, his Tide high. Mack is a mediocre shooter, connecting on 42% from the floor and 65% at the charity stripe. Former 5-star Dazon Ingram's card looks similar. The 6'5 junior figured to shine in the post-Sexton era, yet is in at just 8-5. Ingram owns 75 starts, but has spent much of this year as a reserve. His field goal and foul shooting are career milestones. Other key players include graybeard Riley Norris, plus 2 developing bigs, Alex Reese and Galen Smith. Norris has battled a bevy of injuries as a 5th-year player and puts up 7 points and 3 rebounds. Reese was his state's number 2 recruit in 2017 and boasts a 7-point mean highlighted by 19 points earlier this year versus Wichita. He's also a 79% free throw shooter. While Smith has 7 starts, contributing 4 points and a couple of rebounds as Mississippi's second most coveted recruit in 2017. Fast facts: 2 areas of improvement needed from the Tide. Alabama is 13th in the league in assists. and last in steals. The Cats have won the past 10 matchups, including 3 straight in Tuscaloosa, and this will be the lone regular season matchup this year. This date in Bama basketball history, January 5th, 1977. The Tide peaked at number 4 in the AP poll after an 83-71 win over Florida. Alabama would end the 77 season at 23-4, but settle for the NIT as they finished behind both the Cats and Vols in SEC play. It's the Cats and the Crimson Tide on Saturday at Live from Coleman Coliseum. For today's opposition research and the Leach Report, I'm Chris Labar.